All right. Hey guys, happy Monday. I just want to thank all of you for hopping on the call with me. For those of you we've not met, my name is Nikki Whiting and I am the founder of Beatnik Dynasty. I just want to thank you guys for getting on the call with me tonight. I know it's been a while since I've done an impromptu type team call and I've really missed it. So we have a lot of great leaders and I love having them share weekly, but I just wanted to touch on leadership tonight. And as this team grows, I just think it's more and more important that we focus on this aspect of the business. And I think that a lot of times we don't see the failures all the time either as a leader. And I kind of want to touch on that as well, because I think we need to be real and we need to be honest and be able to share all that stuff. I know that we don't like to share the messy stuff. You know, isn't social media all about the good things, right? And I do like to keep my team page very positive. So I've done a pretty good job up to this point of keeping it that way. And this call is definitely going to be a positive as well. But I just want to, touch on some of the things that I've done that I wish I had done differently as well, because I think it's going to be helpful for you to become an even more effective leader. So, I can promise you guys that if you are not failing at some point in this business, you're not going to succeed either. Success literally comes from multiple times of just failing forward. That's really all it comes down to. And so tonight I just want to share something that a lot of people fail at early on in hopes that it's going to inspire your teams right off the bat to kind of change things. So tonight we're talking about leading by example and just taking the lead early on as a coach. Seeing yourself as a leader long before anyone else does, because that is important. That's an important piece of the puzzle with coaching. And I think that most of you on the call have probably realized that coaching just might be the biggest roller coaster that you've really ever ridden. A lot of ups, lots of downs, and just tons of twists and turns along the way. But honestly, you guys, that's the same with any business that you're going to get into. Eating this like a business from the beginning. And I don't care what your fears are, who your naysayers are, what the excuses might be in your head. You have got to run this thing like a business from the beginning to make it a business. If you want it to be a business, you have to run it that way. If you can definitely run it as a hobby, but at the end of the day, that's what it's going to be. It's going to remain as a hobby. So definitely decide that early on, what you want to do. Do you want this to be a hobby, or do you want this to be something that you can do full time? Decide that early on. I think it's safe to say that everyone on this call is treating this like a business, or one, you would not be interested in a leadership call, right? And two, you wouldn't be on this call at 8:30 when there are much more entertaining things on TV right now. I'm sure one of those being the Bruce Jenner special that my husband is T-boning for us. But thank you guys. I just appreciate you getting on tonight and just hanging out with me. So let's dive into this thing and get started. Grab my notes here. I think that what I want to start with is just how we get caught up in what a leader really is. So I think that a lot of people get caught up in what a leader really is, but obviously if you're on the call tonight, then there's something special that you're doing with your business. So I want you to really just stop for a second and applaud yourself for what you've done in your business so far. I don't think that we always celebrate where we are right now, and that's really a struggle. And it's gonna set you up for failure if you think that way. So whether you are just a coach who literally just signed up, maybe you just signed up last week, applaud yourself for taking that step. Applaud yourself for taking the step to sign up as a coach, and then for understanding that you do need to be on these calls and for being on here with me right now. If you are a new Emerald, that's a huge step. That's your first rank advancement step, and that's a big deal. And I know that we get caught up in like diamond and star diamond, and I just want to get there. But Emerald is that first step, and that's a big building block. And you need to go out and freaking celebrate that. You need to celebrate hitting Success Club. You need to celebrate your challengers getting progress. You need to celebrate anything that is new in your business that is good and is a stepping stone or a brick that's laying the foundation for your solid business. So do that along the way. That's one thing I didn't do early on. I really just was like pushing for all these other goals and not embracing the small things that I was doing with my business. And so I really encourage all of you to celebrate all of those successes along the way. So I want to share with you kind of my outlook on just leading the way with your team in a way that's going to put them in the driver's seat, because really leading is not about being the boss. Okay, I think that let's ask this question. Didn't we all decide to do this because we didn't want to have a boss? I mean, that's why I love this job. You know, I like to be able to wake up when I want to, put in my hours when I want to, work in pajamas if I want to, no makeup if I want to, like setting my own hours and running it the way I see fit. So that is something that we don't want to be, is the boss, right? So leading isn't about being Hitler or deciding that you're going to be the boss of everyone. It's about making others better. It's about making others better because of your presence. And then it's about making sure that when you aren't around, that the impact that you had stands strong. So I don't know how many of you freak out when you're unplugged for a little bit, or maybe you're worried when you go out of town. You know, how's your team going to do? Are they going to crumble? Oh my goodness, they're not going to know what to do with themselves because I haven't told them this, this, and this. First of all, you don't need to think with that fear. Second of all, if you're the coach that is waiting for your upline to hand feed it to you, don't be either one of those, okay? This shouldn't be a fear, because what you essentially want to do is to set your team up with duplicatable steps, trainings that we have, new coach trainings, push to emerald trainings, push to diamond trainings, all of these things that we're doing, duplicating systems and challenge group templates and those things that are going to allow it to function even when you are not there all the time. I used to be nervous that this team or my team was going to like fall apart when I went out of town. But for whatever reason, and we joke about it a lot, now it's so weird. I feel like when I go out of town is when people rank advance the most in my business. So I'm starting to think that maybe I actually need to leave and go out of town more. I don't know. But that just really all starts with leading by example. And there's something that you're going to notice about effective leaders, and that is that whether, you know, in the business or on the back side of things, or even on social media, they have a set purpose. I have a set purpose every single time I wake up in the morning and I go onto social media. I am not mindlessly Facebook scrolling. That's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of my hours that I could be helping my business. So I want you to remember that you have a purpose. Set out for a purpose every single day. So leaders are not chasing people. Okay. And this was a bad thing that I did early on. I was chasing people, kind of assuming that, oh, this is going to be my last sale, or this is going to be the last coach to sign up with me. Or I would, you know, try to push things on people, and that's not what we need to do. So the way you lead, in a sense of good leadership and a way of doing things, is going to cause people and opportunities to come after you, and not the other way around. So like attracts like, right? So what you want to attract, I guess, is important here too. You want to be attracting those with a similar mindset and a similar work ethic as all of you on this call tonight, okay? So when I first began coaching, I will tell you guys, and if you don't know my story, you'll quickly find out that I had anxieties all the time. I really did. And I never shared it as often, and I never allowed that to keep me from my goals. So you may have something that feels like it's setting you back. Do not allow that to hinder you from your goals. I signed up in May of 2013. I had a 5-month-old baby. I was busy, and it was hard to build a business, but I knew the potential. I saw my upline doing it. I saw our upline, Brandy Bots, doing it. And I wanted that for myself and for my family. I wanted that freedom. I wanted to be able to do this as my full-time job and absolutely love what I did when I woke up and feel rewarded for that. And this business has been that. So I dove in, and there was no babysitting by my upline. You know, I didn't look to my coach to just hand feed me every single piece of information. If I needed to find it, I GTS'd it. And if you don't know what that means, it is I Googled that stuff. And I figured out a way to get the information without being that gnat in her ear constantly. Now, do we chat? Absolutely, because she's a great leader and she checks in on me and we get on calls. And if I have questions that are in depth and we need a conversation about it, I absolutely feel comfortable reaching out to her. She is always there. But I never relied on her or other leaders for my success or to hand feed me these things every day to get me started. Okay. The Girl Boss Bootcamp or your training, your new coach training gives you that. If you go through those 21 days and you get through those videos, you are going to be set up to know the basics. We did not even have a new coach training when I began. We did not have templates for challenge groups. We didn't have any of this stuff. And so I was successful. My upline successful. Plenty of us were successful without those things. So you just have to realize that if that's what's hindering you, that alone is an excuse, okay? So we don't want to get there with that. So I was consistent. I was posting daily to social media, even when I didn't want to, right? And it's like, well, I don't really know what I want to say. Then you need to sit down and you need to think. You need to plan out your week. You need to think quality and not quantity. Another thing is I've kept up with challenge groups. If you're going to be an effective leader, that means you are starting to run a challenge group within the first month of signing up as a coach, and you're going to run those every single month. I did that. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to run a challenge group. I started it my first month, and I continue to do it still today. And it's 2 years this month, which is crazy to think about. But, you know, I got my coaches started right. I knew how I got started, and I wanted to be started that same way. So I was sending them new coach email, and I was sending them to the new training group on Facebook, and I was making sure to set up a call with them within the first week to get them started. I was doing all of those things because I wanted them to start and to have everything they needed so that there was no reason that they couldn't get started and be successful, whether on their own or with that help. And I never stopped sending messages, you guys, and reaching out to people. That's so key. We can't just post out of nowhere about a challenge group when we've really never posted about health or fitness ever and expect people to just jump on board and be like, yep, that's me. I want to do that right away. Now, some people may do that, but you need to be reaching out. Every single day when I first started as a coach, I was sending 10 to 15 messages per day to different people, starting conversations so that we could start talking about what I was doing with challenge groups. And that was huge for getting potentials into my groups. And so I just want to encourage all of you guys to always be doing that, making lists, making a list of like your dream team. Who is a dream challenger for you? Make that avatar challenger. Set out who you think it is and make a list of those people and reach out to them. Make your dream team list of coaches. You only need 8 coaches to be a diamond coach. Okay, and that is so doable. But you just have to make the list. You have to start reaching out and you have to start growing this as a business. And these are all things that your team are going to watch you do. And I've seen it happen so often, you guys. A coach signs up. They're amazing at recruiting. Okay, so they sign people up. They sign tons of coaches to get them to diamond fast, but they never set the expectations for the coaches and team, and then things start to fall apart and they start to crumble. Things are all over the place. There are people all over the place. There isn't a good structure, and you haven't established business hours. So even, you know, there was no order maybe of like how to reach out to you or anything like that. And so you need to just establish those simple basic things that everyone establishes about their business early on. And here's the thing, your downline is going to most likely duplicate what you do as long as you give them the opportunity. Okay. And here's the kicker. That can be a really great thing, or it can be not so great. So you need to make sure that what you're doing right now is something you want duplicated in your downline. So here's what you need to do, and just to have in place to be sure that you're duplicatable for them and that you're able to grow as leaders themselves. When I say, let me mention one thing. When I say being duplicatable, I do not mean being a carbon copy of your upline. You are you. You are unique. You are genuine. You are different. And you have something that is going to bring to your market that is different than your upline or any other coach. But as a new coach, you want to be looking to successful coaches and seeing what they're doing, what they're posting, how they're doing things that are allowing them to be successful. And you want to be duplicating that in a way that is true to you. Okay, so that's what I mean by that. But here are some things that I know that I have set in place as a leader to help other people become leaders themselves. That is templates for your downline to use for trainings, challenge groups, those sort of things, push groups, a new coach training. Okay, and if you don't have a place for new coach training, your Star Diamond upline probably does, your Diamond upline does, and they also, here's the thing, no excuses, right? Because all of those are extras. You do not need that to be a successful coach. The online office has a new coach basics group. You can go through new coach basics in the online office. You can do a push to emerald group through the online office, a push to diamond group. Those are all there for you. And I touched on that on the National Wake Up Call a few weeks ago. But that's something else, is we don't want to use that as a cop out. Well, my upline doesn't create blah, blah, blah. You can do that. Or you can send them to the online office to do those things, okay? You want to have examples of call to action posts, okay? So a call to action post means, how are you presenting the business on social media in a way that's going to make people stop and look at it? Are you creating a picture that is unique and not a copy from Beachbody's website? Are you doing something with your face in it that allows your followers to see you and what you're doing? Are you talking about the coaching opportunity? Do we have to do this huge ad that says, help wanted, new coaches needed, or whatever it is that you see other coaches doing? No, you can create that in a way that is your own, and it's a safe place and a comfortable place for you. But I will tell you that doing comfortable things normally don't grow your business. Most people who have grown successful businesses, whether it is Beachbody or outside of that, have done it when they've done things that are scary as crap and really make them second guess themselves. That's where the growth happens. Talking to your coaches and your downline about what to do and what not to do on social media. So I know in my new coach training, I talk a lot on social media, and we talk about that because for me, I run 99.9% of my business there. And so it's super important for me to share that is the building blocks for me. And you can have an infinite number of people following you, essentially, and your warm market runs out. I see that all the time. I've talked to all my friends and family. Well, to be honest, I have not talked to the majority of my close friends and family are not in my challenge groups, and they're not coaches. And I've grown a lot of my business through social media, just marketing myself in a way that makes me approachable. Just be yourself and be you and be real. And you're going to attract the people that you want to attract. So a system for getting new coaches started right is important as well. Knowing that they have a call set up with you. I get all my new coaches set up within the first week on a call with me and answering questions to just kind of ease their fears, because I think we all feel that way when we first sign up as a coach, just a little bit unsure about ourselves and what to do and all that sort of thing. So if you can give your team something like that, then they're going to have the tools that they need to lead versus follow. And once my coaches are diamond, they take on these huge leadership roles. So you really want to work with your team on how to be self-sufficient. That's so necessary. And you're going to constantly be bringing in new coaches that you'll need to take under your wing in the beginning. So you need to know that your diamonds and those close to diamond can flourish which without being on a short leash necessarily. And that is going to show that they're growing as leaders as well. And another thing, an important little side note that I want to share with you guys is just figuring out your coach's goals. And that's important as a leader. When you're barking at someone or micromanaging them or trying to push them when they're not ready, they're going to run so far and so fast in the other direction, you won't have a team. And so it's not about you. And leaders know that early on. It's about your team and you thinking of ways to help them see success. You want to know my absolute favorite thing about Thursdays. So you guys know that Thursdays are rank advancement days. You see it all over the place. We blow up social media, just giving people so much praise. It's also payday. We get paid every Thursday. My favorite thing about payday is the matching bonus. So if you click on your commissions and you are looking at where you've earned your money, my favorite part is the matching bonus. And the reason for that is because that shows me that my team is growing. It shows that my coaches are growing. It shows me that they're growing their teams of working coaches, not just discount coaches, that they're getting closer to their goals, whether it's their rank advancements or financial freedom, leaving their full-time job, time, whatever it is. There's nothing better than watching that sucker grow, because it lets me know I've done something right, that my team is now growing in ways that are fulfilling their dreams. And that's a huge thing. And that should be really exciting to you as a leader. And another important reason that you want to start to create good leaders and lead by example is you want hard workers, right? And your team is going to explode with volume and increase paychecks if you work with them and focus your energy on the coaches that are working hard, okay? And this is going to sound like a little bit of tough love, but it's not. You really want to focus your energy on the 20% of coaches that are working hard. Okay, and I'm sure that you've heard this before, but if not, here's a little bit of a fun fact. 20% of your coaches are going to bring in 80% of your income. Okay, 20% of your coaches are going to bring in 80% of your income. So work with those 20% often. I have a board in my office and I actually mark off where I place coaches according to how they're working the business. Okay, it's based on a few things. It's based on an accountability form they fill out with me. It's based on their About Me form that they fill in when they're a new coach. It's based on the feedback they give me when I'm messaging them myself and taking the time out of my day to message them. And those who are getting on one-on-ones with me. Okay, and so I set those up all the time. I give people the opportunity to do that. And I kind of just mark out where I want to be setting up my time. And that's not to be mean. If you know me, trust me, you know I'm not a mean person. I just want to be able to give my time and my attention to those who give me their time. And so I do this 80-15-5 thing. And obviously diamonds and star diamonds are going to be up there. I talk to them a lot. I talk to them often. So that's definitely something. And then anyone who gets on calls with me one-on-ones or are pushing for their rank and we're needing to chat back and forth often, those people are going to go up there in that larger bracket. And honestly, I put all new coaches up into that 80% too for at least the first few months, because you really want to treat them as if they're just going to absolutely crush the business. There's no reason for you not to until they give you any kind of doubt or reason not to. And so unless they're discount coaches, but I don't sign many of those up, then 15% are those who aren't necessarily hitting Success Club consistently, but they do sometimes, but they're working the business more for fun. And then 5% are those who really aren't plugging in. They're not getting on the call. They're probably not on this call. And they're not setting up calls with me or reaching out or answering messages and that sort of thing. So this is going to allow you guys to be a better leader for those who do deserve your time. And so I feel like we wonder, how do I be an effective leader? How do I go about being a really good leader? And the fact of the matter is just putting your time into those who want to give you their time back. I mean, that really is all that it comes down to. And I encourage you guys to, you know, spend time thinking about yourself as a leader and what type of leader you want to be. You know, how do you want to grow to be a more effective leader, and how do you want your team to grow? All of those things are really going to be what you're looking at when you're thinking about, okay, how can I be the best that I can be for my team? And are we always going to be perfect? Absolutely not. I am never going to claim to be perfect. I am not perfect. I have not met one person that is perfect. And so until that day comes, I'm not even going to worry about it. But I do have this one little quote that I want to leave you guys with. And I had it pulled up here, and now it's just leaving my brain. Let me grab it. But yeah, no, I can't find it. It's making me sad. Hang on just a second. I'm gonna have to come back to it because I wanted to quote it perfectly, and now I'm gonna mess it up, I'm sure. So I'll post it in our group page later. But yeah, so at the end of the day, you are who you are. Be yourself. Be someone that you would want to be around, and someone that is going to help build others up and help them to pursue their dreams. And in turn, you're going to hit your goals. So it's as simple as that, you guys. I know this was more short and sweet, but I just wanted to kind of get that off of my chest and speak to you guys about it. I hope that some of it was helpful and you can take it back to your teams, and have a good night. Now you can go watch a little bit of trash TV. Bye.